So the Callisto Protocol has been under so much scrutiny since its launch. Like, did the game really live up to its hype? Is it truly the spiritual successor to Dead Space, which I think is one of the best horror games ever? Well, welcome, guys. My name is Big O Nuggets, and today we're going to be diving into the Callisto Protocol. I myself am the kind of person that doesn't really listen to critics or just reviewers because I just think their opinions are super biased, and I truly don't think they really dive into the game. As a true horror fan myself, and again as a Dead Space fan, I just want to give you guys my thoughts and experience while playing this game. Now, I said overall, I think the Callisto Protocol is a pretty good game. It's good. It's great. Did it live up to the hype? I don't think it really did. They really made this game to look out to be the next best horror game, and I think it really went more into a survival horror action game. Now, don't get me wrong, it had definitely all the elements of a survival horror game: limited inventory, the atmosphere, the tension. Was all there, but I don't think this was like a true survival horror game. Again, I think this really went more of the route of survival horror action. Now, don't get me wrong, like the tension that they build here is crazy. Now, the whole time I was super tense. Just I was on edge the entire time because I wasn't sure, if something was gonna come out one way or the other, and I really like that. It kept me always on my toes. Because I always listen to music cues. The music change. It's like, oh snap, okay, there's something going on here, and then nothing happened. The next thing, bam, something does happen, and I really love the tension. I think that's something they did really well in the game. The tension was great. Now, jump scare wise, we did get a couple jump scares here and there, but nothing too like, damn, like boom, jump scare wise. So like, I wouldn't categorize this as a full on horror game. I would categorize it more of a survival horror action throughout my experience throughout it. You know what I mean? This felt more like in a sense, like a Resident Evil 4 vibe to it, which I think is great. I think Resident Evil 4 is a great game because it did have those horror elements in there, but it was more also a bit more of the on the action side of it as well, not like a true survival horror game itself. Now, the concept of the Callisto Protocol, I think is there. I think they really did have something special here. I just don't really think it was executed 100%. Story wise, I think the story was captivating, but I think it falls short a little bit. I think it was a little everywhere. I don't want to spoil nothing for nobody of the story if you guys are still playing the game or want to progress to the game. But I mean, it was captivating. It was the basic premise. We're there, we're trying to escape, and then we find out the truth. Now we're trying to right the wrongs of what happens once we learn about the truth. Which I get it, I like it. It's very basic, generic. We're going through. It's cool. I wish I would have wanted more because if we look back at Dead Space, Isaac, we're trying to find his his wife, his girlfriend. We're trying to find her, and that's our motivation. We're pushing through. We're trying to go through this hell of a spaceship, to try to locate her, find her, and rescue her. And I think that gave us more of like a sense of, okay, let's keep going. We sympathize with Isaac, and we're trying to go and do this. But with Callisto Protocol, we're like, oh shit, we just got randomly arrested, and now we're just trying to escape. And I don't think there was really any like high stakes going on. You know what I mean? We do find secrets. We find the truth eventually, and that kind of was like, oh snap, okay, now we're getting all that stuff in. But that was a little later in the story towards the end. So I kind of feel like the story was a little, it was like, basic escape. We're just trying to escape prison. We were falsely accused. And then next thing you know, it's like, bam, oh shit, never mind. Now we know the truth. And then at the very end, we know exactly what's going on. And then it just like rushes towards the ending. And bam, that was it. I don't know. That's just my opinion on how I felt the story. Again, I still liked it. We progressed through, and I like how we learned the truth of everything eventually towards the end. But I feel like it should have been more paced out a little bit better throughout the game. Again, I feel like they wanted us to be more immersed than anything, which I get it. The world was very immersive and tense, but I would have liked maybe just a little bit more of that. I think combat was a little refreshing with the dodge. I think the dodge was cool. Just being able to weave. I know that's one thing everybody's talked about, like the combat itself. The dodging was great. But I truly wish the combat would have been a little bit more better. It definitely has that Dead Space vibe to it with the combat. One thing I feel like sucked was when you get pushed by more than one alien or one of these creatures. It just got like a little crazy and intense. And I feel like that's where it died a little bit on the combat itself. But it was still fun. I mean, I still liked it. The combos were good, and switching to your gun to shoot vital points and all that was fun. Was good. I would have liked to have a little bit more of the combat, but the dodge was definitely unique and good, and I really enjoyed the dodge. The combat wasn't too overly complex. You know what I mean? Like it wasn't like this crazy like all these buttons to dodge and weave and do this. It was fairly simple yet decent. It wasn't bad, and I enjoyed it. It was fun. Getting the hang of the combos and getting all this done and trying to dodge, get the pattern of the creatures down and everything. So all that, I think it wasn't bad. I think the combat wasn't all that bad. Let me know your thoughts on how you guys felt about the combat. Now, I do want to talk about the big elephant in the room, which is performance-wise. Like, I will not deny, I did see that PC was definitely having tons and tons of frame rate issues and stuttering issues, in which I know that right there definitely kills a game. Like, that makes or breaks a game sometimes, and especially during day one. And they did drop a day one patch to help that, and I think they're still trying to find more fixes because I think there's still slight stuttering and everything. So for all my PC players, comment below like your experience. I know if I wonder if the performance was an issue to where it brings down the rating to a game. So like I am gonna bring it up for me on the PS5, and I think I read that PS5 was definitely the way to play the Callisto Protocol because I had zero to no issues with any frame rate drops, anything. I was running a performance mode too, 60 frames and everything. So like, I was running good. I said I had no issues at all. So when I saw people, complaining, I was like, "What are you guys talking about?" And I was like, "Oh snap, okay." Then I saw some videos of how bad that frame rate issue was. So that does suck. And even early playthroughs, early review copies were having issues even on console. So I got to put that a part of my review. Like that did happen, and that's definitely going to bring down, that's definitely not going to make people want to play the game, if they see that this has some performance issues, especially on PC. But I will say that at least on PS5, if you're thinking about picking it up on the PS5, everything ran smooth, perfect, no issues at all, and it was awesome. It was perfect, and it ran smooth. But that does bring down the rating for me a little bit. Dude, I am seeing that other people did have issues, and that was a problem. So I did want to address it for you guys. And I believe that the issue is still being fixed. The majority of it's been fixed, and it's still getting fixed on as of now. Now, I played in the medium difficulty. I did beat the game in about 7 hours. I did hear that the game was about 10 to 12 hours. And I'm assuming that's if you're trying to complete the full game. I will say for if you're trying to do 100%, I myself, going through everything, I got 22 out of 27 trophies. All right. So I know I can, if I want to, I can go back to 100% the game. Easy. And I did read that one of the crazy things is that you don't have to play the full game in maximum security. You just have to beat the final boss in maximum security, and then you're good to go. And then you'll get the maximum security achievement, which I think that's kind of lame. For those who were playing the full game in maximum security, that is pretty lame. That kind of sucks. That's kind of dumb. I would have figured that just like any other game to get the achievement, you got to play through the full game in order to get that. But for those who want to fully complete the game, one of the other things that I think is just super tedious is having to go back. There's no chapters. You're going to have to replay the whole thing and make sure you go through everything and pick up all the collectibles, all the audio logs, everything before you proceed, because there's no chapters. Unless you save in certain areas for you to load back in, you'll be able to do that. But I think they got to add chapters to it if they're for all the collectors trying to complete the game 100% everything. And I think that's another like really like dumb part. Like I was thinking about going back and trying to 100% this game, but the fact that there's no chapters, and I've seen some people like really struggle with it. I don't know if that's part of the whole difficulty aspect of it or not. I don't know, but that's one thing, just a heads up on that for those of you who are trying to 100% the game. So overall, guys, I honestly would say Like I rated it after I finished playing it. Like right after I finished playing it, my raw thoughts were a good 7 out of 8, and that's already knowing some of the things that happen. Like I already know like some of the about the stuttering issues and all that as I was playing. Seven, a good seven, almost an eight, almost an eight. I would give it like a nice 7 point, 7.4, almost 7.5, almost an 8. Because like I said, I was coming into this game thinking it was going to be a full-on horror experience. It was more horror action, but I still truly enjoyed it. It was still fun. I thought everything about it was great. I still, again, I had no issues, no lag, no stuttering, no frame rate drops. Everything ran amazingly. I enjoyed the combat. It was nothing crazy, but nothing too, nothing groundbreaking, but nothing like, repetitive. The dodge was great. The story, like I said, I felt like it felt flat in certain areas, but it still kept me on throughout the rest of the thing. So honestly, my own verdict would be like a 7.3, 7.4 out of 10. And I would recommend this game to other people. Now, if I would say if you want to wait until this game is on sale, I would honestly wait for it to be on sale as well to pick it up. Again, like I will pick up games and pay full price for them, because if it truly catches my attention and I want to play it to experience it. And especially if it's getting like all these bad reviews and all people are talking smack, that makes me really want to just experience the game myself. Because if we look at all these other games, Metacritic scores, they really, shit on a game, and sometimes, it has a better audience review than, a critic review. And again, not everything is everybody's cup of tea. Some people are definitely going to review bomb this because some people are diehard Dead Space fans. They're going to say this is not, the spiritual successor to Dead Space. Some people like myself are going to enjoy it, and, we're going to really enjoy it. Again, everybody has their own opinion, and all your opinions are valid, but let me know your guys' thoughts on what you think. Again, I would honestly wait for this game to go on sale. If you really, really want to play it, buy it and play it. But if you can wait and wait for this to be on sale, do that. Again, it's still enjoyable. It's still fun, very entertaining. If you breeze through games almost like I do, you'll probably beat it too in like 7-8 hours max. If you're someone who likes to 100% the game, it's gonna be a little rough, like I mentioned before. But again, let me know your thoughts. What do you guys think about the Callisto Protocol? Did you enjoy it? Do you really listen to these critics and reviews, or do you play games yourself to experience them, or do you watch a couple reviews from well credited YouTubers? I think some YouTubers do some really great reviews, and I have a couple that I like to look at to also get a decent little idea on a game. But again, let me know your thoughts, guys, and let me know if you guys want to review any other games, to try out any other games to review. I do plan on doing some more reviews on video games as well. But without further ado, guys, thank you guys so much again for all the love. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and we'll be covering a lot of other games coming up.